Okay, I got a little bit ahead of myself before I realized I should probably make a video on this. What I am doing is this pile of stuff here is an integrated tail light by 12 O'Clock Labs, and it uses this DRC tail light and their own little circuit board. And what I'm going to do is put it on my CRF250L. Now the first thing you do, you take the seat bolts out, you take these tie down bolts out of the back, and then this piece comes out. It's just grommets in the front there that these two pieces slip into. You take this connector loose, you're going to reuse that later. Unfortunately, you have to cut this wire here, and there are 4 bolts. The ones in the back are 12mm socket to remove, the ones in the front are 10s. And once you remove this bolt, see if I can do it without dropping everything. I can't. Well, anyway, you remove that bolt and this whole tail light assembly slides off. This whole tail light assembly, I don't know, probably 5 pounds. The new one's a pound at most. Okay, this is a bracket, and these tabs are actually in the way. Show you here. Those are the holes I need to use, and it kind of rocks back and forth on here, so I'm just going to go ahead and take those off. Just cut them off, because I don't really see why they're on there. So yeah, those are going to come off real quick. Okay, with those tabs taken off, they'll bolt on there nice and flat. I'm going to put a couple drops of Loctite in there and use just the 2 back bolts, obviously, since the front ones aren't holding anything anymore. Okay, now what we need to do, there are 3 screws in the back of this tail light we need to take out to replace the circuit board. Okay, with the lens off, there are 2 screws that we need to take out of the factory DRC circuit board so we can put the 12 O'Clock Labs one in. Also, behind that there's a license plate light. There's 2 screws in there you need to remove, and you can pull that out as well. Okay, now to mount the 12 O'Clock Labs circuit board, just need to feed all these wires in through that little triangle shaped hole. Get in there. Okay, and then pull it through. And then just check and make sure that your clear part of your lens is where your license plate LEDs are. And then you can use the screws you took out of the DRC LED bracket and install this one back down. Okay, now that that's on there, just pop the lens back on. Okay, to put these wires in that looming that it comes with, I would suggest twisting them all up tightly, like that. That'll help it slide through easier. Okay, hindsight, I probably should have left this off to install that, so I'm going to go ahead and take this off and install this onto the bracket. The wire goes through here, and then the bolt's there. And it's an 8mm wrench, and this is what it comes with. So I'd suggest using some Loctite. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off and throw the light on. Okay, so after you put the tail light on the bracket, you can put the bracket on the bike. There we go. And now what we need to do is cut the factory wire harness plug off and wire this into it. Now when you're doing this, I would suggest cutting it somewhere around here so that you can still solder all this back together if you decide to put this back on, which you might. You know, you might break this, or you might decide you want a big ugly mud flap on it or whatever. So now that we have this cut, I need to remove this corrugated tubing and get to these wires so that I can strip them out and connect them to the corresponding wire on the universal taillight I just installed. Okay, what I'm doing, if you can see, the camera's kind of blurry, is I am taking these and stripping them a little long and folding them in half so that they actually hold when I put them into these connectors. And then all we'll need to do is tape it up once we get it all put together, plug it in, and it should be good to go. The taillight does come with wiring instructions, so just check that for whatever bike you put it on. They make it for a few different model enduro bikes. Okay, here are the factory defaults. Brake light, that safety flash. And what happens with your blinkers is you get that nice integrated rear blinker, left and right. Brake light with blinker. But the problem is your front blinkers do this. And that's because the relay works off of the resistance of the bulb, and you took a bunch of resistance out. So to fix that, you need to put resistors in parallel with the front blinkers, which I will do in the future, just not right now because I don't want to tear the front blinkers apart, but I am going to try and install them in the actual blinker itself. That'll be another video. That's the tail light. As you can see, there's a, well, maybe, yeah, there's a little license plate light under there, so everything's still all good and legal. And now I'm just going to throw the bike back together and move on to the next project, which will probably either be blinkers or seat foam. So subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.